No one who is severely handicapped needs to fear that they will get paid any less. In fact, they're going to see an increase. We want them to be able to earn more money before losing their benefits. And we're hearing a lot of support in the disabilities community.
This province is the only province that is actually expanding disability supports. This province is the only province that is actually expanding disability supports.
Aish Actions Revolutionary Podcast.
Chantal and Gavin.
You have now entered the no bullshit zone.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How the hell are you today? I am doing okay. Been quite a weekend for me. If you're wondering, I am eating in front of you, but that will surely change momentarily. That's how busy it's been for me. And of course, my illustrious co-host. Yay! The one hosting Tea Times on Saturday at 2 p.m.
Yep.
Yeah. I tuned in this week, and what a great little, tea time kind of hangout kind of deal. It was really, really great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, it's only our second week doing it, so.
It felt great. Lots of people in there, and a lot of information flying around, a lot of love flying around that room. Really felt good.
Mm-hmm.
Really felt good. So let me go to YouTube. What's up on YouTube? 4 people watching. Please say hello. We would love to hear from you, whoever you are. We already have 3 likes, and we haven't even said anything yet.
Oh, I always like the video as soon as I go into it.
Oh, well,
I'm totally biased.
the rest of you all should just hang on for a minute until you can make up your mind whether you actually like this thing or not. Your feelings could change in no more than 5 minutes. So, but we are glad you are here. Got a lot to get to. Because I am eating at the moment, and because that is just rude to do in this economy right now, I'm going to hand it over to Chantal for a moment so that I may finish my wares. I'm moving as of tomorrow. I have 0 boxes and a ton of shit. So it's a lot. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with family things as well. Man, I'll tell you what. It's a thing. It's a definite thing. So I may pass it over to Chantal just to kind of catch you guys up. What's going on her side of things with her page? Lots of things flying around there. Something about the U.S. that I didn't put into the. I was going to get to that. Couldn't do it.
No, we'll go over that off the air and see if we want to add that anywhere.
Okay, I did look it up.
Point.
I did look it up, and it is legitimate to some degree.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little overblown maybe on Facebook, but
yeah, I think so.
But it certainly does have its the foundation of it is correct.
Yeah.
So Chantal, if you want to, why don't you fill the people in onto what's happening today, what's happening in your world?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just kind of go over a lot of the things that we did on Saturday, just because not everybody makes it to my little tea time. Yep. So regarding the appeal process, the question here is, can you appeal? And across multiple Facebook groups, there seems to be a lot of confusion around that. But yes, you can appeal, and the clock is real. So this is a big one this week and for probably the next 8 days. So let me say it slow over the podcast here. So a lot of people some of them sitting in AISH offices are telling folks you cannot appeal. That is not the whole truth. And I don't want it to cost you a right that is still yours. So Bill 12, the law that takes your appeal rights away, does not take legal effect until July 2nd. So until that day, the old AISH rules still apply to you. And under those rules, you can apply or you can appeal a decision made against your file, including the decision to move you to ADAP. So right now, before June 30th, your right is whole because the law that removes it is not yet enforced. So file your appeal even if somebody told you the move cannot be appealed. It is a door that that is closing on July 2nd. Hi, not right now, please. I see. Very nice. Okay, I'm on the live. Okay. Awesome. Bringing Lego to mom. Oh my goodness. Where is it here? So file the appeal even if someone told you the move cannot be appealed. The door is closing on July 2nd, not a door that is shut today. So a no costs you nothing, and it keeps a right on the record. Keep a right or make them prove they took it. So your appeal goes to the appeals secretariat, not to AISH. If you want to join the Facebook group, if you make it to the website, all of the appeal forms are there. There are 3 of them. And you pick the one that is closest to you. So file a few days early if you can before the 30th and ask them to confirm they got it if you so choose. They've been sending a lot of automated responses as soon as they receive an email. So you don't necessarily have to follow up with a phone call. That's completely on the individual filing. So I filed my appeal and I am not asking you to do something that I did not do myself. Now, for those of us that have gotten responses back from the appeals secretariat saying, absolutely not, you can't appeal, that's bogus. I responded to them in over email, and I also posted that response and a copy and paste portion of it for the group. It's not on the website, it's only through Facebook, but if there's enough interest in having it on the website, I can post it there. And it basically boils it down to all of our legal rights as they stand today and asks them to correct their narrative. So fun stuff there. So regarding the appeal and the reassessment, so those are 2 different doors and you can do both. So these get mixed up all the time. So here is the clean version. The appeal is the door with the clock on it, and it closes June 30th. The reassessment, the medical route back to AISH, has no deadline at all. The government covers 1 medical assessment, and you keep getting paid while you do it. The people with the most severe conditions, including palliative, get a faster path with no new medical report. And they do not cancel each other out. Okay, so if you appeal before June 30th, it doesn't cancel out your ability to be reassessed. You can walk through both paths, and I would, and I plan to. So file the appeal before June 30th to hold your right while the window is open and start the reassessment whenever you're ready, because that door stays open. Now, I know that the form that is current for reapplying to AISH is not fully updated until after July 2nd. So if you do file before July 2nd, just know that they are going to probably come back and say, hey, there's some questions that we still need you to fill out. That's what's going on right now. So they're still updating that form, and we're still going to be waiting for those updates to come as to what changes are being made to the AISH program after July 2nd, because those have not been revealed by our government as of yet. So there are 3 appeal forms that are live on the website and through the Facebook group, because people are in 3 different spots. So most of you will need the first, the general appeal letter. If you were moved to ADAP and want to stay on AISH, the argument is already written into the form. You just have to add your details and your story, which is optional. The second is the CPPD appeal, only if CPP disability is part of your situation. And the third is the exemption correction. So it's not quite an appeal letter, but it's basically shedding light on the fact that you were miscategorized and you should have been part of that exemption list and stayed on AISH to begin with. And we've already been seeing a lot of retractions from AISH when this file started to be circulated around. So at least we're seeing something in terms of correction. So for anyone who clearly fits one of the 4 Keep on AISH groups, severe and profound developmental disability or PDD, palliative or terminal, continuing care or 60 and over. Those are the updated exemption lists automatically supposed to be retained on AISH. If you were moved, send in the exemption correction form. And if you're not sure which is yours, take the general appeal, or you can reach out and ask me and I can help you figure it out as to which one fits. So all of the forms are in the group and live on the website. And the website information is in the video description just below my my window. Let's see here. Another question that came up was, how are they even deciding who moves? So a lot of people have been asking, and you deserve a straight answer. So the move on July 2nd is not a fresh read of your file. It is an automatic sort. So if the government's records already put you in one of the Keep on AISH groups, you stay. Everyone else is moved to ADAP by default. Without a person sitting down. So if you feel like nobody looked at your file, that is because for the transition itself, nobody did. The place where your file gets a real individual look is the reassessment or the appeal. That is where you make them see you, and if you want it on the record, you can ask AISH in writing how your placement was decided and on what evidence, and keep their answer. Always keep their answer. Welcome back, Gavin. Where is it here? So the next one here, I live in supportive housing. Why was I moved? This one is catching a lot of people, so let me untangle it. So the Keep on AISH group for care settings is tied to living in a continuing care home. Alberta recently renamed things, which was the 4-tier installment here for the Alberta Health Services that just was put in. So designated a subsidized supportive living is now called a type B continuing care home, and long-term care is type A. So those should count, but not every supportive setting is designated that way. So permanent supportive housing and non-designated supportive living may not be counted as a continuing care home, which is why some residents of these places are being moved while a neighbor in the same building is not. So if this is you, do not guess, ask AISH in writing exactly how your facility is classified for this exemption and why you were placed where you were. If it should count, file the exemption correction, right? And if it does not, go the reassessment route to stay on AISH because your disability prevents work. Either way, make them put the classification in writing. Where is it here? I guess there's only a few more to go. I might as well. So the 1740 will not cover my rent. I have seen the fear in this all week. So let's go over that. If you are on AISH right now, 1740 is not your number on July 2nd. You were moved to ADAP, but a $200 top up is what they're dubbing it, holds your total at the current 1940 until December 31st, 2027. Your check does not drop that day. So we are already at 1740 with the $200 CDB clawback. So try not to get that twisted. We're not getting any extra money from this government. They are leaving us at 1740 and dubbing the federal Canadian Disability Benefit our top up, which keeps us at 1940. And it'll be staying like this until the end of 2027. Fun stuff. So the 1740 is the number for brand new applicants right now. And the plan is for it to become the number for everyone moved over starting January 2028, unless we change that before then. So this is real and it is worth planning for 2028, but it is not the cliff some are bracing for this July. You have time and we are going to use it. Where is it here? So you are not imagining the letters. Some of you have shown me responses in writing telling you flat out that you cannot appeal before the law that says so, even in force, or is blah, blah, blah. My tongue don't want to work right now. So telling you flat out that you cannot appeal before the law that says so is even in force. There you go. So you are not imagining it and you are not alone in it. I have been quietly gathering those letters where they tell us we cannot appeal. And this week I put a documented package in front of disability lawyers, 2 law professors who do exactly this kind of law, and a public interest legal clinic. I can't promise you what they will say yet, but the question is in front of real lawyers now, and you deserve to know someone is pushing on it. So absolutely, I've taken the next step there. So check the letter from May. So if you have not looked at it in a while, dig it out, or dig out the letter the government sent in mid-May. So that's all of our transfer papers, apparently. It tells you whether you stay on AISH or move to ADAP. You stay on AISH automatically if you are 6 years older, in continuing care, palliative, or terminal, or have a severe and profound developmental disability, or on PDD. And if your letter has you in the right place, you're set. If it has you wrong, that is the thing to fix now, in writing while there is time. And then another one that came up just today regarding the $100 that they're going to be sending out as the Alberta energy rebate. The portal to apply for that is July 1st. And the government confirmed it will not be taken from you as AISH, or those of us that are on AISH or ADAP. So the one thing you must do is have filed your 2025 taxes, or you may get nothing. If you are on AISH, you may be signed up for it automatically. We've already confirmed that. We are. There are those on AISH, ADAP, and seniors pensions that are automatically signed up for this $100 Alberta energy rebate. So we don't have to sign up for it.
You mean joke, don't you?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
$100?
Uh-huh. Oh, I know.
$100.
When they're stealing $200 from all of us. Oh, absolutely. It is a joke.
Well, that's one major point, probably the biggest point that we would concern ourselves with. But when they gave, when the 25th largest oil reserve in the world, Alaska, last year gave $6,500 to a family of 4, and no less than $3,000 continually through the last, I don't know, probably 15, 20 years. $100, ladies and gentlemen, is once again they're pissing on you and telling you it's raining dollars. All right, it is absolutely zero. It is tantamount to nothing. And what they could give you is that $6,500. That's what they could give you without hurting a goddamn thing, without putting a dent in anything. They could give you, for a family of 4, around $6,500. For yourself, probably about $1,500. And they could do that year after year after year after year, and never having to touch AISH, never having to do anything about that. But once again, your government wants to lie to you and tell you that it has no money and we need to cut this and we need to cut that. Meanwhile, they send billions to 21 billion, probably 23 by now, to the Ukraine. right?
Mhm.
And that to pay the wages of Ukrainians, right? And you don't see a lot of people moving to the Ukraine these days, but you see a shitload of immigration to Canada, and they're giving money away when there is all money in Alberta itself alone, the fourth largest oil reserve in the world. There is all money for everything, and
Mhm.
you're getting $100. Congratulations.
You know, I've had a few people message just within the last 20 minutes here that because everybody's starting to phone the what the heck is it called, the check information line for AISH to find out what their amounts are for the end of the month, and a lot of our checks are up by $100. So I don't know if it's a reflection of the changes for the child amounts that are come into effect for July or what that is. But the $100 rebate amount is not being deposited by AISH. So I would be phoning AISH next week or later on this week, find out what that $100 is for. Because yeah, it's not the rebate. It's not the $100 rebate. That would be coming from the province of Alberta, not from AISH. So yeah, not sure what that extra $100 is, because even mine's up by $100. And the only thing that I know of that was changing was all of the base amounts for children. So that's where mine would have come from.
Right. So people have been checking what their amounts are going to be this year.
Well, this month, yeah.
This month, sorry, this month.
It seems to be almost like a religious thing that people on AISH will do, is they will make sure that they phone the check information line to know exactly how much they're going to be getting. And that's just how much unknown there is for people right now.
Right. I mean, I've never thought of checking it before. I know that that you can, and when I've called before,
Mhm.
you know, it says if you want to check out what your month is going to be, press 1 or whatever, and I've never done it because I always assumed that it would be what it is, and
Yeah.
yet now people are having to do that because nobody knows what it's going to be.
Yeah, especially with all of these changes that are coming, you know, with the July transfer to ADAP. So just to give everybody the phone number here, so there is a direct line to the check information line. There's 2 numbers that you can call. So local here in Edmonton at 780-427-6942. And toll free, it's 310-0000. And that is the toll free number. And all you need is your H file number and your date of birth to check it.
Right. Right.
And they have been posted. All of the new numbers for this month have, or next month, have been posted.
Yeah, so it might be worth checking that out, ladies and gentlemen, just seeing what you you know, what your entitlement is this month. I mean, Jesus Christ, you know, our demographic represents people that, you know, that can't have sustained employment, and yet we're being pushed out to work, right? Emotionally can't, deal with the things that someone without the proclivity may be able to do, and yet the government is having have us checking our asses and is involved in every aspect of our fucking lives on a daily basis. Even the middle class doesn't get this kind of treatment, right? They can pretty much just go on with their lives and do what they do, and every fucking day we're having to be checked. We're having to check on ourselves about everything, and we already don't hold the emotional or mental, capacity, assumedly, to be able to do all this at once. And
Exactly.
so, if that ain't a fight, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what is. Once again, they're treating you like absolute garbage, and we need to stand up against that. Um,
Hi, Maya. Hi, Sam. Hi, Ivy.
Hi, yeah, hello, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
And ACA Earthlings, at ca.earthlings, at ca.earthlings, asked me what I'm eating. Well, it's really boring, actually. I don't even know. It's not
Was that a
pheasant.
muffin again?
Yeah, no, it's not pheasant under glass. I can tell you that. It's eggs and peanut butter and jam toast.
Oh, that's not bad.
I mean,
Okay,
I
you're
love
good.
it. I love it. I'm a creature of habit. And the eggs were nice and soft, a lot of yolk. Love it. But that was my fare for today, of which I will be eating a lot of over the next week when I move. So yeah, there's a lot of eggs and craft dinner in my future. I can tell you that. So yeah, so you kind of filled in the people as to what's going on,
Yeah.
and we'll
I
be
just went over some of my notes from the tea time because it's still prevalent right now. And it's like, come on, we got to hit these appeals because they are breaking the law. And the more documentation we have on that, oh, it's going to be glorious.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, and this is the thing about getting treated like shit, ladies and gentlemen. I'm dealing with something family related right now, and I won't go into detail. But I'm fed up being treated like shit. I really am, by anybody, uh, family, government, and I'm about to fight both at the same time because nobody gets to treat me like that way. And that's self-respect, right? That's not arrogance. That's self-respect. Nobody should be able to treat us this way. Your government should not be allowed to to have your life concerned with this type of precarity and to this extent, ever. And the fact that I think we can fight harder is still prevalent in this community. And I don't want anybody to feel bad. I'm doing what I can, right? I get it. I get it. But we have to fight. There's terrible things taking place, and we won't cover this today. But there's some illusion that there's being proposed on the floor of the legislature in the U.S. That the handicap demographic is not entitled to anything, nothing.
Yeah.
And they want to cut all services to the handicap programming. They've already cut $1 trillion in terms of the big beautiful bill that what's his nuts passed through legislature, cutting $1 trillion from needs and assistance and things like this. $1 trillion. And so the whole world is leading in one direction, ladies and gentlemen, and it is not in your favor. And even though I'm 60 years old, I feel the pain of it every day. I am not old enough yet to say it doesn't matter. It matters every fucking day. And it should matter to anybody not as old as I. And it should still be affecting people's lives that still have mental capacity and still need to eat. And so the U.S. has put on the floor of the legislature the fact that there should be the assumption that there should be no benefits at all. And if that ain't Hitler, I don't know what is. They're coming for you. They're coming for us first. And the middle class aren't that far behind. Not nearly as far behind as they think they are. Because they think this is going to benefit them. And they have no idea what's in store. I'm sure the Jew in 1932, when this shit all started, he's, oh, yeah, they're not coming for us. They're coming for the queer and the, and the handicapped. I don't care. And then in 1939, where was their ass? And this is the middle class, ladies and gentlemen. This is the way they think. Yeah. Doesn't matter. It's going to matter, and it matters to us right now.
Mhm.
And I think we need to fight like hell to put an end to this. Not a pause. An
Yeah.
end. An end. And that's what July 1st is all about, ladies and gentlemen. You know, getting our bums down to the legislature, showing ourselves approved, grabbing a beautiful
Yeah.
little tiny rose, right? Even handing it out to people, talking to the
Oh,
middle class.
these ones right here that I've
Those,
been handing out like crazy for the
yes,
last, couple of days.
those exact ones right there. So I'm not castigating anyone here. I'm
I
not.
sent some down to Pam too. She's got 5 roses incoming.
5 roses incoming. That sounds like a threat. 5 roses incoming. Well, that's great. And if it seems like I'm castigating people, I'm doing my very best not to do that. What I'm saying is that we really have to light a fire under our ass. I don't know, like we have more than 2 sticks to rub together at the moment. And by now we should be lighting fires. And we need to light those fires. And we need to get involved in politics. We need to get involved in our lives. And we really need to start actioning on our own behalf and on behalf of everyone else. Because if they're successful with us, they ain't gonna stop. Right? We
Mhm.
are the testing ground for further action. I can tell you that. And Carney doesn't give a shit. Carney doesn't care. Polyev couldn't give a fuck. Somebody sent me a stupid fucking thing of Polyev talking yesterday about how Carney has dropped these services.
Mhm.
Like to cut some service from the handicap or whatever, right? And his own fucking party in Alberta, and he's Albertan. Polyev is Albertan. His own party in Alberta is destroying handicapped people, and he doesn't have fuck all to say about it. He's a lying sack of shit, just like
Well, they
everybody
all
else.
are.
And
No.
it's only going to be us that is able to fight for ourselves. Like
No.
that's all
Because we
that's
don't
left.
have a disability chair right now in the federal government.
We don't.
That chair is empty.
Right. Well, I don't think it's ever been filled, has it?
Oh no, it has, but the person that was in it last, they left.
And they never filled it.
Yeah.
So, okay, what about Marie Renault? Like, what? She's doing right. Yeah, right.
She's busy doing her own thing. Like I can't wait till tomorrow night, Gavin. When that
Oh, yeah.
'cause it's supposed to be that what the hell is it called now? The city hall or whatever that they're doing.
Town
Oh,
hall,
you best believe that I'm gonna be there in the comment section watching that and critiquing every word.
Yeah. Is that tomorrow or
Because they've
Wednesday?
already cited that's tomorrow.
Oh shit,
22nd or
we have
23rd.
we have a podcast.
Uh-huh.
Ugh.
But you're also moving tomorrow.
Well, I
So
know,
the
but
podcast may not happen.
well, I'm planning on being up. I mean, I'll get all my shit there by noon for
Mhm.
sure, and then all I'll be worried about is setting up. So maybe we'll do a short podcast tomorrow, and then all of us can fucking go raid what's going to happen over there. I wish we could raid. I wish we could take our podcast and fucking somehow overlay it
Merge
onto theirs.
Oh, well, we're going to end up doing a whole breakdown of all of that probably Thursday or Friday anyways, for all of the people that weren't able to get in there and see it.
Oh yeah, we're going to do that. Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get angry. Let's let's get a little upset. I'm just going to hit the LOL super cute. Says Earthlings. Yeah, it's just boring peanut butter and jam, but I love it. And Pam says, I'm going to get my medical Thursday, and they are getting my files. When I was younger, I signed consent forms. I wonder if a letter from a teacher I had in special needs. Maybe, Pam. I know we are going to be USA. I hear that so much. Look at medical and no food voucher. No more help with self-help by Kirby Center. not helping no more. I tried to ask for help. They said sorry. So many people with no funding. Thank you, Sipha. Blessings, thank you. I've been emailing so many people. St. Paul, yeah, me too. Was so nice, but that's only one person. Yeah, they were beautiful, great people. Didn't help me a bit, but great people. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
they did a program a lot like ADAP in the UK. So when they're on our page there, it was running around from Pete Klassen.
mhm,
He did some more research into it. I had started, and then I thought, I've got so much already that I'm trying to keep track of, right?
yeah,
Like I don't want to do another deep dive into something and then end up throwing us all through a loop. So there
I'll,
are a lot of similarities right now with what the UK tried to roll out and it didn't work, what the US is doing to their citizens, what Alberta is doing here, what other provinces are doing to theirs. This isn't something new across the board, but I don't know where it originated. I don't know where this thought process started. All that I know is that there's a lot of similarities between all of these different programs.
yeah. Well, it's very interesting. Where did it start? It's very interesting to me that every country you're mentioning is part of the G7. So, what do you think, huh? I mean, where do you think this shit starts? It starts in
I
a
don't
little
know.
room with a few people, and
It's whoever it runs that side of the monopoly board, right? Of the 1%,
mhm,
that's who's pulling the strings in the G7.
right. Um, uh, yes, Sam, you go. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, this is an ideology now that is spreading throughout throughout every G7 nation. And it's very interesting. That's an observation, right?
Mhm.
And I can look into that UK thing. I'm actually quite interested about looking into that, so I'll look into that, Chantal, and we can do an entire episode on that because you're right. They instituted basically their own form of ADAP, and people either died or needed more drugs or went to the street. Uh, and London in a lot of ways is a complete shithole anyway. Um, but this is the whole ideology. It's more for me and none for thee. That
Mhm.
is and if you study the history of Britain and Thomas Paine and oh shit, I'm gonna forget his name, but the same guy that was around that time pushing the agenda of Britain and castigating the French Revolution, and then what Thomas Paine wrote in benevolence to all people, and him standing firm on the French right, French people's right to the French Revolution, and how it was necessary. You start to see two different schools of thought, and which one always wins, ladies and gentlemen? Which one comes out on top? It's no different than it was in 1776 at the signing of the Declaration as it is today. The upper class still wants to fuck you royally and take everything you have. That has not changed. That has not changed a bit. Even even the liberal right now making, the one who is successful in making money doesn't want to go this deep, right? They don't want to know that kind of history. So we're at a turning point. We're at a crossroads, and it's time to be something. Yeah, love Sam. You take care of yourself. Do you have anything else, Chantal?
Nope.
Hmm? Okay. Um, Fair enough. Well, maybe we'll get into today's topic, which I think, it's good just to kind of wrap up on what we were discussing. You have the notes there, right?
Yeah.
You said you sent me a draft of,
Yeah, I emailed it to you.
okay, let me see. Oh, yeah, with the sticking your tongue out at me. I see that. Um, yeah, she likes me, ladies and gentlemen. She really likes me. Really, Sorochan. Um, so yeah, I'll open, and if you want to take, number one, there is something that I want to allude to, though, that I
Mhm.
think is very important that I do before I do that, um, and that is, oh, don't tell me yeah, give me a second.
Mhm.
As soon as I minimize it, it goes back to the top. It's killing me, killing me. Now, where was it? Give me 2 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Right. This is, yeah. This is one thing that I want people to understand. It kind of aligns with what I've already been saying. It's just another level of fuckery. Once again, these people, I was thinking about it today. The government, in so much as they hate each other, are very aligned, right?
Mhm.
So there is alignment there. And back in the 80s, New York writers and people like that were talking about this in the 80s. Um, they'd hate each other all day in the town hall, in the, legislature. And then that night they'd all be going out for drinks, like
Mhm.
both parties, liberal and conservative, would be going out, eating together, going for drinks, picking up chicks. I mean, the whole thing was theater, even
Yeah.
back then. And the whole thing is theater now, except I think they just hate each other a little bit more because they all want their own piece of the pie. That's all that matters to them in
Yeah.
particular.
Well,
So,
I just see it as like one big WWE or WWF, wrestling match when it comes to all of these political parties. It's all for show. Nobody's really getting hurt. Nobody's really butt hurt. Nobody's gotten their feelings hurt.
uh,
It's just, oh, they're doing such a bad job. Wow, woe is me. And all my poor constituents and my poor, this and my poor that. And it's like, oh, it is exhausting. It is really exhausting. Like, is it that hard to have one real somebody
yeah,
that actually legitimately gives a shit?
uh, it's very hard to find. It's very hard to find. Everyone is self interested, Chantal. Every human being, even me, and even you, have the propensity for grand self interest. The one who understands that and who realizes that is the one who can attempt the change because they understand that they can fail. They understand that there is a failure point.
Mhm.
They understand what failure looks like. They can define what that failure is, and that failure is self-interest. So they can try, they can attempt to stay away from that. And the only person I've ever found in my life, Chantal, is you. And I don't say that to blow smoke up your ass. I have never found anybody in my life that thinks the same way I do. And I
Mhm.
thought, and all of my friends said it, Gavin, you're an anomaly. You're an anomaly. You don't exist in nature. And I say, I defeated, I said, no, 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 there's got to be somebody out there that is not self-interested and willing to risk it all and willing to stand up and tell the truth, and lose even as they tell the truth. And it just so happens that a few months ago, you and I aligned, and it's
Mhm.
blown me away every day since that I actually found someone that thinks the same way I do. And I'm not saying I'm the only one out there. Uh, uh, but um, but sorry, I went to the chat. But that, you're not going to find it much. Ivy says, sorry, I was catching up on that piece of shit. Polyev is my MLA. I emailed him in time again, not one fucking response. No, no, I hope you caught the part that I talked about Polyev, Ivy. If you didn't, I'll repeat it. And I was also scrutineer for him. Oh, okay, I don't know that word, but for him on election night. Um, Earthling says supporting Ukraine at the start of the conflict was crucial. Do you know what was crucial at the beginning of the conflict? For the U.S. to stand the fuck down. That was crucial at the beginning of the conflict. This is a proxy war by and it is the making of the U.S. The U.S. does not want Russia. Putin and Clinton had a conversation back in 2000 where Putin said, we'll join NATO. And Clinton said, that's a good idea. I like that idea. He went and talked to his cabinet that afternoon, came back to Putin and said, never going to fucking happen, buddy. Why? Because they want Russia. The U.S. doesn't want Russia to exist. Neither does Britain, neither does France, neither does Germany, and they will do whatever it takes. So the U.S. Used Ukrainians to die for a conflict that never needed to exist. Now, I'm not saying Putin is a great guy. He's not a great guy. But Putin did not want this. He did not want to have to do this. And as soon as the NATO turned their weapons toward Russia, right? And we know this. We know that just before the war, all of the NATO weapons went to the border of the Ukraine and Russia. And when that happened, Putin said, fuck you. The same thing could be said if China set up their weapons on the Mexican border, looking straight into the U.S. Do you know what would happen? Do you know what the U.S. would do to China? They would fuck them up. That's why China doesn't do it. That's why Mexico doesn't do it. This is more than the sum of its parts, right? This is globalization. It is hegemony. It is everything else. Does that make Putin a good guy? No. It gives you an understanding of what this war was to begin with. Now, we're not a podcast about all of this. That's my next podcast.
Yeah, we're not doing the world what is it breakdown? What's happening in the world today?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, yeah.
We
I mean,
definitely wouldn't be able to do 4 days a week, Gavin.
No, and-
We'd have to make it at least 2.
oh, we'd be 24/7. We'd be fucking
Oh,
CNN.
it'd be way too much.
Right. I mean, you know, that's my next project, is really
Yeah,
taking
sure.
on grander scopes. But, you know, suffice to say, it's not that simple. Nothing is that simple. ADAP didn't come out of nowhere. It didn't come out of the ether. It didn't float down from or up from hell. All right? Except with somebody's ideology. There is something greater going on with ADAP. And we can see right now that it looks, or it seems to be, perhaps a global agenda. The U.S. is doing it. Britain did it and would love to do it again. You can fucking bet dollars to donuts. France, you know, has cut back their things. Keir Starmer just stepped down today because he's such a piece of shit. So, and yes, I can source this information, and there are great journalists that have covered this, down to Seymour Hersh, Earthlings, who was the journalist who uncovered the My Lai massacre in Vietnam. He's still alive and he's still doing that work. And he uncovered the Nord Stream 2 and where it didn't come from, and a whole bunch of other things. And yes, I could source it, but let's get back to task at hand. And I will do that. I will do that. I will source it all, and you can source it all if you care. You can find that all of that information. Yeah. And at the end of the day, the only thing that's happened to the Ukrainians is they fucking died. I talked to a Ukrainian not that long ago, a kid, 20s, moved from the Ukraine not that long ago. And he said, look, we all hate Russia. Nobody likes them. But we got to stop. because my friends are being killed for no reason. Even he said that. And this guy should, if he would have stayed, been in the military. And all of his friends who are in the military, that are still alive in the military, are all intimating that we need to get the fuck out. This is not good for us. There has to be another way. Too many people are dying because the US fucking wants it that way. That's true. So we move on. No, it is mine too, Earthling. It is mine, but this isn't the place, right? Like we have other fish. So I'll leave it at that. And I love you asking the questions. I really do. Thank you. All right. So back to our regularly scheduled program. A policy can be beneficial without being sufficient. So I just want to, before Chantal and I dive in here, I just want to lay this out in history. I have never in my life, and I'm 6 years old now, and it has always remained a question to me, even when I didn't know a thing about politics, why something good happens, but never enough good happens. So the government will do one small thing, something that is beneficial, but it will actually never change anything to be sufficient for a living standard of most human beings. People have to, work harder than they ever have. They have to, right? And then the government comes along and gives you $100, and we all praise the government, right? They fix one road, but all the roads are going to shit, right? I can make this amount of much money, but I can never make that amount of money to really be secure. So a government can do beneficial policies, but rarely, if ever, have they ever been sufficient. And I want us to hold that in our minds as we go along today. Now, Chantal is doing that thing she likes to tell no one about. It's a thing that I do.
Sneaking away.
Right here, right now, because I don't have that luxury. So let's move on. There's a piece going around about Alaska, the state that pays every resident an oil dividend every single year. The argument runs: Alaskans still struggle with suicide, with unaliving, addiction, social breakdown, despite the money that they're getting. So maybe money isn't the answer. Maybe the income floor isn't really the issue. Well, it is the issue, but it's only part of the issue. Okay. So we pulled that apart this week, or last week, actually. And here's the headline: the Alaska evidence does not say what that piece thinks it says. It points the other way. So let's walk down that road together, all right? And if you can you? Or no? Can you take number one or no?
No, because my computer's in the house and that's where my notes are.
Okay.
And I'm smoking really fast.
Well, that's okay. Take your time. Enjoy it. The strongest study is from NYU, New York University, 2022. 4 decades of data. When Alaska's dividend was established, it significantly reduced the unaliving rate for about the first 15 years. Well, there's a statistic right there. I mean, in a sense, there's proof, right? That money alone, with the social networking or no social networks that that Alaska had in place, with the fact that that the 4 decades from 2022 would have been 1202, so 82. All right, so since 82, Alaska still had community. It didn't lack in community. It had tight-knit communities. It had access to food. People were more dispersed, but just because you live on your own doesn't mean you're going to fall prey to anything. We've lived that way since the beginning of mankind or humankind, right? So something must have happened after that 15 years. I hope that's where this is going. You wrote this. A 2024 study in Poverty and Public Policy found it cut the number of Alaskans below the poverty line by 20 to 40%, and cut poverty among rural indigenous Alaskans from 28 down to under 22. As of 2024, about 81% of Alaskans say it improves their lives, their quality of life. Why wouldn't it? I mean, more money, you're happy. You're not complete as a human, but you can certainly take that pressure off of you. So when someone says they got money and still suffered, so the money doesn't matter, that gets the record backwards. The money did real measurable good. Other forces it was never built to fix push the other way later. That's a completely different paradigm. Okay. Alberta is using that exact half truth. Money isn't everything to justify taking the money away from from 79,000 people. Money isn't everything to justify ADAP. Alaska is the counterexample that can nullify the bullshit that Alberta or that the UCP is espousing at the moment. So, you're still? Yep. Okay. There's a 29.
My daughter just came in.
Okay. There's a 2019 study people grab onto. A 14% rise in substance abuse incidents the day after the dividend lands. But the same study is the rebuttal. That bump is partly offset by an 8% drop in property crime, no change in violent crime, and on an annual basis, the researchers called the changes small enough that crime concerns may be unwarranted. Other Alaska work found no drop in employment. Well, Dauphin, Manitoba, back in the 70s, did the exact same thing. Put everybody on a UBI, a universal basic income, and it improved the lives of people. People went to a 4-day work week, but worked harder. There was a drop in all types of crime in Dauphin, and then a new government came in and did away with the program, and the program worked. All of the data that has been retained since Dauphin, since the mid-70s, all of that material points in a beneficial direction, every part of it. There is not one adverse effect from what they did in Dauphin, Manitoba.
Yeah.
And so I think what you're arguing here, or what this argument is making, is that money does make the difference. Now, that's true and that's not true. If you have money, like Elon Musk, you could still be a ketamine freak, right? Like, it doesn't solve your problems. What it does is it takes away that one burden, which is a huge burden on your biology, your psychology, and your sociology. But it does not solve those three problems.
No.
Right. There's another approach here, a holistic approach. So, Chantal, I'll throw it back to you if you want to.
Okay. So the cost point?
Yeah, the cost point. Yeah.
Okay. So our province's own numbers in a straight line about what we can't source. Okay. Because that's how I always do my work, is it all has to be sourced information, right? So the viral version quotes 7,500 a year for home care versus 50,000 for the nursing home. Right. So I'll say it plainly right here. So that figure is from one American case reported by U.S. advocates, and I cannot find a single government source to confirm it. So I'm not claiming it. It's illustrative and it's American, and that's it. So here's what I can stand behind, because the government of Alberta publishes it itself. So a private room in a publicly funded continuing care home, the renamed long-term care, has a maximum resident charge of $2,448 a month. That's $29,376 a year. And that's only what the resident pays for room and meals. All the care is funded by the province on top of that, and at no cost to the resident. Meanwhile, the province's own published home care rate is between $25 and $34 an hour, with assessed hours free to the client. And the limit said plainly, I could not find a clean government published total cost per bed per year. So I'm not inventing one. So what's sourced is what I'll say. The resident charge alone is nearly $30,000 a year. And the province funds all the care on top. And the institutional path costs the public more than keeping someone at home on the government's own numbers.
Okay.
So if they were to pay more CPP out and keep these people at home versus forcing them into all of these care facilities, they would be saving money.
The government would be saving money.
Yeah.
Right. Right. The problem is that it seems to me like the CPP is accessible to them,
Mhm.
right? So your
Yeah.
daily life isn't accessible to them. So they use the one thing, even if it's going to cost them money, they're going to make money ultimately by taking your CPP.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so they don't care that they're going to spend money because ultimately the money comes back to them. Any money gained is not money for you, it's money for them. Right. And
Yeah.
and meanwhile, we sit on the fourth largest reserves for not only oil and gas, but minerals as well. Right, which is your wealth, which is the wealth of Canadians.
Mm-hmm.
So the anchor. Dun, dun,
Mm-hmm.
dun.
So the same shape as everything we document. The harsher option is the costlier one to the public, and they move toward it anyway, which means cost was never the reason.
Okay, if cost isn't the reason, what's the reason?
Well, you look at all of these care homes, right? Like I have a lot of insider information into all of these care homes where the care is substandard. Like I would never send my worst enemy into a care home. Right. You degrade very quickly there. You're cut off from a lot of family interactions. Everything is taken care of for you. So even if you're, in your 70s and you can still cook your own meals, well, at that point, you're not allowed to cook anymore.
Right. Right.
So all of those small tasks that you were able to accomplish, you no longer have that ability because they take it from you.
Right, which is the thing that exercises the brain and the mind and keeps those connections moving. And as soon as they move you into a home, your brain atrophies.
Exactly.
Right, right.
So they boast that, oh, you have all of this care and the government, funds it and blah, blah, blah. A lot of the care is substandard. Like they only bring people in to, let's say, cut toenails for diabetic clients once every couple of months. It depends on where you're located and what home you're in. These are not the best of the best.
Right.
And they're really not. It's like an institution for the elderly, and it's disgusting.
Right.
How they treat people.
And the question becomes, Chantal, another thing too, talking about the Ukraine and everything else. I mean, that's great, but I'm not going to solve the Ukraine's problem. Whether Earthlings is right or I'm right, it's too fucking far away for me to actually materialize any potential mediation. I'm not going to solve that problem. And I know that. I have my thoughts about it, but I know I'm not going to solve it. And so once again, we are caught in this social miasma of caring about things that we'll never solve because it makes us feel useful, right? It makes us feel smart, and not doing the work right here, right now, at home to change our physical lives and our existence and we'll argue with everyone about things we can never change.
Mhm.
And if there is no greater wet dream to the politician, it's the fact that we fight amongst ourselves.
Yeah.
Because if we're fighting amongst us, we're not looking at where the actual problem is stemming from. The problem isn't with my neighbor. My neighbor is me. He's the same as me. What is different than me is a power structure. And as long as I'm not looking at that structure and fighting my neighbor, I will never be of any benefit to anyone. I will be a detriment to the human race.
Mhm.
Where I will be a benefit is saying, Ukraine, Russia, take care of it. Um, Israel, Gaza, love you. Hope it works out. I'm standing with, the Palestinians, of course. Why wouldn't I? But I need to do what I can do here for me first and for you
Mhm.
a close second. And I think
Yeah.
this is what we're missing, Chantal, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's going to take effort. It's going to take work. Nobody's saying that if you're in a wheelchair or you have COPD or that you need to be running a marathon. Nobody's saying that. Nobody would ever assume that. There's no expectation of that.
Mhm.
But everyone can fight. And once again, Chantal, the government, as much as they hate each other, are completely aligned. And we are not.
Mhm.
We have
Yeah, exactly.
Pete doing his thing. We have um, uh, help me out. How
Zachary Weeks doing his,
Zach
Daryl Leary doing
doing
his.
his. We have Can Man Dan doing his thing. We have and we're not aligned.
No.
And I was talking to my son today. This is going to sound, but it's not. It's in direct relation. We're talking about how Japan, a small country, took over China, one of the largest countries in the world. How could a small country do it? And him and I both agreed that it boiled down to the fact that China was so beaten down by the 100-Year War that they were scattered, misaligned, couldn't get their shit together, right? They weren't
Mhm.
collectivized, they weren't of one mind, and it was easy for
Mhm.
Japan to come in and do what it did. And the things that Japan did to the Chinese during the World War II, I mean, I won't even mention
Yeah.
things that you could
Gotcha.
never even. It would take the most horrible mind in history to come up with experiments in which they did on the Chinese. Fucking, we need to align. All right, we don't want to be that historical demographic now, like some historical nation that collapsed because we didn't have our shit together. We have to have it together. We have to be
Mhm.
aligned because we need to move and we need to move quickly. And that's why we are proposing to people July 1st. That's why we're handing it to you as a gift. It costs you no money.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, it's only cost us money, and we're glad to do it. I'm eating, craft dinner and peanut butter till the end of the fucking month because I have to make it up to Edmonton. I have to do this. I have to. I have to. I have to. Right? And
Mhm.
but it's a gift. It's a gift to 80,000 people that we all come. And if you can't, I get it. We're not. There's no judgment for you. We love you. We hold you in our hearts. But for those who can, I don't know how to say it. I almost feel like I need to lay prostrate on the floor and beg, and I don't want to do that. We really need people to align. And the Zacharys and the Peters and the Pauls and the Marys and the fucking whoever are one thing, but we are another. And I don't care, I mean, I have a conversation about the Ukraine. I still love whoever the hell I'm talking to, and I don't know who it is. I mean, they know me, but I don't know them. But I love them,
Mhm.
right? I'm not going to let that bullshit get in the way. I want to see them activate and action and care about their own life and then care about somebody else's life. And so I don't know, like
Mhm.
alignment, ladies and gentlemen. We need to get together, man.
Yeah, we're going to be louder on the first than we
Yeah, right.
were on the 22nd.
Right, right. And I'm sorry if I get emotional about this, but I am emotional about this because it means something to me. I love, since I've really met so many of my cohort, I'm blown away at the love they have, at the hearts they have, um, and all I can do is love them in return.
Yeah.
And I am emotional about it because if I wasn't, I'd be dead. I am emotional. I want to see us collectivize and come together. You know, I want to see 10,000 podcasts on this very fucking topic. That's what I want to see. We're not on here for ourselves. We're not on here to get, we make no money. You know, I could be putting things in boxes to move tomorrow, but I don't. This is important to me. I run downstairs and I get my shit together and I'm always late, but I do it. And, you know, and it's because I just love people. I love what I do, what this is. And I love my co-host, who's amazing. I mean, in the plutonic sense of the term.
Oh, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good. I think everybody knows already.
Yeah.
So, but I'm prepping stuff for the teach in and the protest on the first. So we've got the PA system in. We've got the gooseneck phone holders that are going to stick to my collapsing table. We're ready to go.
Yeah.
Like we are ready.
We are ready, and we're and I hope you're ready. I mean, and you don't have anything to do. You know, Chantal made the roses. You know what I mean? She's got the speaker. I've got the mechanics, right? We've got the talk. You just have to show up. And
Yep. And we've got the microphone for whoever wants to say their piece at this teach-in, at
Right.
this protest.
Right. Right. And so I do get emotional, and I hope people can handle that. You know, we got 4 people in the chat right now, and maybe emotions get to people. I don't know, but I'm not going to apologize, man. I am emotional. I want to see people. I want to see us thrive as a fucking species, like we can and we never have. Ivy, I'm just gonna hit this quick. Ivy says I smoke too. We're a dying breed, literally.
No one likes a quitter.
That's right. Thank you for your opinions too. Of course, Earthlings. Many pay 2,200 retirement studio room a month. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it, Pam. Pam, her rent went up. Yeah, we know. Poor folks. Yeah, so sad. Yes, community involvement, Earthlings. Yes, community involvement is extremely important right now. Yes, genocide is a horrible war crime, and getting creative. Well, this might be the best statement we've heard all day, Earthlings. Getting creative is also awesome, and also another awesome thing people need to shift to. Becoming comfortable talking about politics and religion needs to be a thing. Yes, it does. It always was. But that's because we weren't as partisan as we used to be, right? We weren't as tribalized as we are today. Politics has sold us a load of fucking shit. That doesn't mean that back in the 50s or at the, you know, at the pub in jolly old England, people weren't talking about these things. They were, and that's when it was exciting. But they weren't as tribalized as they are today. They would still give shit to their own politician or their own party, and nobody does that now. Donald Trump can do no wrong. Mark Carney can do no fucking wrong. That's not how we used to handle political conversations. But media has basically sold us on that mindset. You're either here or you're there, and I'm like, I'm too fucking big for that. I'm too big for that. I am not there, and I am not there. I am me. I am apolitical, and I will stay that way until something changes, and either I change it or somebody else does. And I know the difference. Nobody's going to fleece the shit out of me, and I'm too big for two parties. I'm sorry. And the other point, just about being creative. Oh my God, yes. We are such a creative group of people. We are so creative. Yeah, Chantal, pull it down. Pull it down. Pull it down. Come
You
on
knew
now.
what I was after.
Yeah. I'm going to show the picture of that because I want people to get a better picture of that. Let me hang on, ladies and gentlemen. Where the hell is it? Come on. Right there. Boom.
Oh, I love it so far.
And so that's where my strength is. Podcasting, I love. The technical side, I love. Doing music videos and doing film, producing and directing, I love. Music, did it my whole life, travel the world. These are my strengths. But being creative in your own way is probably the greatest thing you could ever do. It is the reason you exist.
Yeah.
It is to give back to your humanity in your own unique way, whether that's speaking, whether that's playing, whether that's sussing out information, whatever that is. There is that thing that puts you to bed at night and gets you up in the morning, and it's a thing. It's a real thing, and I would love to know what that is. I mean, we're going to need to utilize everybody's strengths moving forward. Zachary Weeks is not going to save you. Peter Clausen, not going to save you. You're going to save you, and you're going to save your neighbor, and your neighbor is going to save you. You see, and that's why we do what we do, because we know that once that happens, once people become convinced of that fact that we already know, we're going to change shit. We're going to get shit done, right? And it's an amazing thing. The government hates the government hates each other, yet they're aligned. We love each other, yet we're disparate. When do we change that? The government's always going to hate, ladies and gentlemen. They'll never stop. We already have the greatest foundation to build the rest of the beginning, the genesis of a new humanity on. I know that sounds romantic, but it's also true. It's also very true. Chantal, do you want to go on with, or do you have anything to say to that? Sorry.
No, I was just gonna move on here to our sourcing discipline. So the original piece from last week, we had claimed that people didn't suffer these things for millennia. That's just false. Unaliving, addiction, despair, and despair are documented across ancient Greece, Rome, indigenous societies, medieval Europe. So this is the accurate version. So the human vulnerabilities are ancient, and the modern scale may be new. I flag it because this is exactly why we source everything. One wrong sentence lets them throw out 10 right ones.
Yeah.
So the same reason we keep our policy claims on government documents only.
Right. Right. Right.
So, like there were amputees in ancient times. There were, people addicted to different drugs in ancient times. So none of this is new. There's always been poverty. There's always been an issue with homelessness. These are not new by any means.
Yeah.
It's just modernized. So
And
there's still the issue.
right, and the scale, is greater than it was, of course, because there's more
Yeah.
people. And we're not only that, but we're globalized now. So, ancient Rome, you couldn't take a plane to Corsica, to have a good weekend partying. You couldn't do that. Now you can. Now you can be anywhere, anytime, at any moment. And the pressure I believe, put on the people within the world right now is greater than it's ever been. En masse, it's greater than it's ever been. Why? Because we can disseminate information quickly. Why? Because capitalism is such a thing, right? And it is held by the most powerful nations in the world. That ideology leaks into its society and then leaks into the rest of the world. So everybody's out there doing everything they can for themselves, and forgetting what it means to actually be human, to actually live a life, right? which the amputee, even in Jesus' day, was probably still living a life. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
mean, it might have been piss poor, right? He might have been sleeping in his own urine. But I'll fucking tell you what, there are people today sleeping in their own urine. Nothing has changed that way, right?
Mhm.
And so as we move along here, it will be, I think you would say, Chantal, that it will be both factors of of pragmatism and monetary considerations
Mhm.
mixed with the existential part of life, which is the thing that no other system can account for, right? Socialism talks about markets, and capitalism talks about, or um, sorry, socialism talks about manufacturing, right? And the means of production.
Mhm.
Capitalism talks about the monetary aspect of it, but neither one of them touch on what it means to be human and how we actually experience that above and beyond a simple um, monetary metric, right? So, do you want me to continue?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead, because this is your framing now.
Okay. The Heritage Fund and the philosophy. Let me go to the chat just for a second. I don't want to leave them to their own devices. Um, um, what do we got here? Becoming comfortable talking about politics. Yep. Pam, religion Pulowski had a march for Jesus. Uh, did he? I didn't know Jesus asked for one. Um, does Jesus need a march? I mean, he's the Son of God. Does he really need? You know what I mean? This is why even Jesus
Mhm.
said, "Stay the fuck out of politics. Stay the fuck out of politics." Okay, if you're gonna be a me freak, stay out of politics. Right? He said that to
Yeah.
Peter in the garden. Right? Peter took out the sword and lopped off the soldier's ear, and Jesus said, "Put your sword away. We're not fighting flesh and blood." Right? So, and then all of a sudden, uh, here we go with Christians getting into politics. So beautiful, you have a vessel to share your passion. Well, yeah. I mean, but I found that vessel, right? Like I knew what I love. I know what I love, and then
Mhm.
I just got going on that on utilizing the vessel. You know,
I've been
none
one of
of
the kids
my
upstairs.
computer and my screen and my you know microphones and everything else didn't come to me. I bought them and I did it. But I know what I love. I travel the world
Mhm.
playing with many great international artists. But I had to do the work. I had to become good enough to actually be able to play with these people. So you know, it's not. It didn't come out of a vacuum, and it didn't come from uh, that that a vessel appeared. I created the vessel um, because this vessel demanded it. You know,
Mhm.
that's the only reason. So, wish I wasn't rural, guys. Hey, well, we don't know where you are, but hey, man, if you were closer, well, but Chantal, I'm in Calgary. Chantal's in Edmonton, so we
St. Albert.
never, yeah, and
I'm north of St. Albert or north of Edmonton.
mm, north of it, she's even further away. We're not in the same city. We're not sitting. I mean, we look like we're next to each other on the screen, but we're literally 350 kilometers from each other at the moment. Um, and uh, we do this, you know, in tandem with each other. That's the great thing about technology, I guess. Just the fact that we can sit and put out this kind of information to you guys is invaluable to us.
Mhm.
Yes, you are both amazing. Well, Pam, yes, sure. And you are
She's
amazing.
like our biggest fan, though.
I know. I know. I know. It's just
Love
that,
you, Pam.
right. And it's just that I know Pam is amazing. Um, and we got a bunch of roses from Earthlings. And who couldn't use that? I like flowers. Sure, I'm a
Yeah.
dude, but I still like flowers. So there, I got the chat done. Let me go back to notes. The heritage frame. The province says it can afford, the province says it can't afford the disability floor. Okay, so it can't afford the base amount for us. In the same window, it cut 49 million from AISH. It grew the Heritage Fund by 383 million. Okay, so so they cut 49 million, saying they couldn't afford it, but then they made what is that? 49 times 32, 8. They made 8 times the amount, right?
Mhm.
Am I right about that? Yeah. They made 8 times the amount and then said we can't afford it.
Yeah.
But they made 8 times the amount that it actually costs. You know what I mean? It's like your dad saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, son, I can't take you to Dairy Queen today. You know, because I don't have enough money," and they just gave the fucker a raise. You see, like that's right, just complete lie. And you wouldn't take it from your dad, so why would you take it from your government?
Mhm.
And reaffirmed a $250 billion target for 2050, and that's low. That's them not giving a shit about what they could do. What they could do is over $1 trillion. That's what they could do. Right? So they've even lowballed you there. 250 million by 2050. Oh my God. No, it should be $1 trillion fucking dollars by that time. There's no reason it shouldn't be, with the 4th largest oil reserves in the world. um, it says holds even with no new deposits. Well, that's because um, that's because of investment. So they invest what they already have. And the reason that there's no new, well, you know, this is odd, very strange, isn't it? They're saying no new deposit, even without deposits, because the people that are, you know, the multi-million dollar corporations involved in oil and gas, multi-billion dollar
Mhm.
corporations, want all of that money in their own fucking pocket. So that's why they're saying no new deposits, because no money is going to flow to the government, at least in that direction, for them to make the deposit, right?
Mhm.
And who's the guy that started AISH and this?
Peter Lougheed.
Peter Lougheed has to be rolling over in his fucking grave right now going, why are you people destroying what I created? Why are you
Mhm.
doing this to me? Why are you stomping on my fucking legacy?
Yeah. See, and I guess my question here too is regarding this $100 across the board for everybody that's over the age of 18 and can apply for it. Where did they get the $380 million from to do that?
Well, it would seem to me that that was revenue from oil and gas.
Well,
That
that's a
they,
lot of money just to throw around, hey? After taking almost what it's going to be 29 million off the backs of the most vulnerable with the $200 clawback.
well, this is the thing. But once again, they play everybody against everybody. So they give a dumb fucking proletariat, middle class, $100, and everybody claps like a seal. They steal money from us, but those two things are disconnected. So when you get together with the middle class, when an AISH person gets together with the middle class says to the AISH recipient, "What do you mean? They just gave us $100." Okay, middle class individual, but they took away 49 million from us. Well, that's not my problem. Do you see how they're able to play it?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the conversation that is met out on the ground, Chantal. That's the real conversation people have. That's what the middle class believes, and we know differently. And what we do is warn the middle class. If they come for us, they're coming for you. But the middle class doesn't believe that, just like the Jew didn't until it was too fucking late. You see?
Mm-hmm.
It's historical. It is, and it's mind blowing that we think we're smart. It's mind blowing. Um, the cut wasn't. Let me go. A government that truly is that right? Yeah, it says whole even without a government that truly cannot afford something doesn't, in the same years, deposit billions into savings and keep every dollar those savings earn. Excuse me. The cut wasn't forced; it was chosen. Of course it was,
Mm-hmm.
but of course it is. I mean, of course it's chosen. Um, It's forced on us. But they didn't have to force themselves to do it. It was their greatest pleasure. Why? Because they'll survive and you won't. And that's all
Mhm.
that matters. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. And you have to get an understanding of that because that's the truth. When I went to Jeremy Farkas in Calgary twice now, he has less than a second. I mean, he has no time for me. He attempts to push me out aside and say, I'm sorry, I'm busy today. And I say, Jeremy, Jesus is coming. Everybody's busy. Who the fuck do you think you are? I'm busy.
Mhm.
Chantal's busy. The people watching this podcast are busy. What makes you special, Jeremy? Nothing. Nothing. Except the fact that he can. Gavin, why did your dad beat you as a child? Because he could. So he did. It's very simple. It's too simple. And that's why it is what it is. Because it doesn't have to be complicated. They do what they do because they can. It is only until somebody like me stood up against their father and said no more that anything changed. And
And
that's
that's what our biggest problem is with a lot of this like the politics now, is we've let it coast without correction.
yes.
And that's the fault of us as constituents, of the people that vote these people in. Oh, I was going to use a bad
I
word, Gavin,
heard. Yep.
but it's our fault. We didn't keep them to the status quo. We didn't keep them accountable, and we've let them do whatever the hell they feel like because we have had no time to correct anything because we're so busy and blinded with our own needs and our own lives. And I get it.
Yep.
I do, but it's time for that correction to start again.
Oh no, I mean they set fires and we have to put them out. Because if
Mm-hmm.
we don't put out that fire, it's
Yep.
going to destroy the house we live in. And so they make you busy
Exactly.
putting out fires that they create, and you're too busy to solve the problem of saying, stop lighting fucking fires. And we've had enough. And I did that to my dad. My dad, ostensibly of greater power than me, right? But I had
Mm-hmm.
enough. I had finally had enough. And I was willing to risk everything and have risked everything to stand up for him, against him. And if I've done that once, I know I have the strength to do it again. And that's what's
Mm-hmm.
necessary now. And that's what we need to do. And that can take many forms. July 1st at a protest, writing a letter. The people that are doing the greatest amount of work coming together and coordinating and, materializing some greater benefit than can be had singularly.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And we're still nonpartisan. We still haven't been approached by any political party regarding any of the work that we're doing. So we must be doing it right.
Well, right. Yeah, because everybody's in it for, it's all self interest. And we're
Yeah.
trying to tell these self interested people that are fighting against self interest, interestingly enough, to stop that shit. And let's all align. Do I care that I lead something? No. Do I care that my life is better? Yeah. And that's all I care about. I don't care that I
Mm-hmm.
lead something. I don't care that somebody give me a fucking award. I don't care. All I care is that my life is better and that the lives of other people are better. I don't care who leads it as long as they're genuine. It doesn't have to be me. I could step aside. I'm 60 years old. I would rather be playing drums in Mexico, laying on a fucking beach, getting a good tan than I ever would wanting to be praised as a politician or anything else. I could be doing that right now, and I choose not to at the moment. My friends have already said, Gavin, get your fucking ass down here. You'd be the best drummer in fucking, this part of Mexico. Just come down. You got the gig. And I'm like, I can't. I need to fight. I need to fight. I
Mm-hmm.
need to fight. So that's what I'm willing to risk. Number one, my reputation. Number two, right? And
Mm-hmm.
even my financial status on H. Number three, to speak out because I love people. I don't have to be the big thing on the block. I've already been it. I've already had awards. I can walk away. I don't need it. Doesn't mean anything to me. So, going back to the notes, the cut wasn't forced, it was chosen. All right. The philosophical stance. The deeper claim in that Alaska piece, the piece we were touching on, is that human flourishing needs two things:
Hello, Mr. Munchie.
a material floor and meaning. So those are the two things. You can have all the money you want and still be bereft of meaning, and therefore take ketamine and be a total douche like Elon Musk, because he doesn't have meaning. There's no meaning in any of this. There's only money and his own arrogance, his own ego. A material floor and meaning, belonging, purpose. Charles Durkheim's anime, not to be confused with Japan anime, it's another word. Durkheim's anime, Frankel's Putnam. There's a real tradition arguing a society can handle people, resources, and still leave them adrift without connection and purpose. Okay? And this is what Durkheim called anime, right? Where even if you have your material needs met, that does not satisfy the human condition. It satisfies the fact that you won't biologically die. It does nothing for the brain except keep it biologically intact so that you may be able to think, right? And when you think, nature would hope that you side on the fact of being creative and doing the work of your neighbor and collectivizing. And if those things don't happen, then you fall into what Durkheim called anime. Okay? Society can handle people's without connection and purpose. Fair conversation and a good one for us to talk about, right? Meaning, we need both of those things. And Chantal and I have done the work. Well, I definitely have on a civic level. Created a complete proposal as to how we do this architecturally, politically, artistically, financially. In every metric, I put this together and it works. It doesn't go red, it goes black. Okay? It goes to benefit every time I do the equation, and along with everything else. We can do this. It takes will. It takes the will of a government that is unwilling, holistically unwilling, has no interest to do it. But it can be done. And I've done the work. And this is what Chantal and I argue for. Because we know when you see when I see you smile, I smile. All right? When I see you frown, I frown. I like smiling. But I don't smile when people are being taken advantage of. Doesn't make me happy. Right? And I want us to be happy. And we can be happy. I know it just sounds trite. I know it sounds fleeting and romantic, but it's not. It's real. And it has real pragmatic steps to get there. And we won't outline all the pragmatic steps today, but I've done all the work and I can share that work with you. I come with receipts, okay? The framework only works if you hold both halves at once, right? So this framework has to have both the material conditions and the esoteric or the non-pragmatic, right? The non-touchable, right? Intangible elements that are as important to your survival as money. Money isn't enough is true, but it is not the same as money doesn't matter. And the people running this transition want you to hear the second when they say the first. Okay? You cannot reach the meaning. You cannot reach the meaning conversation from a place of destitution. Very true. Nobody can talk about, and I get it. If somebody's sitting there at home right now and they're going, if I don't get my rent paid, I'm going to feel like shit. And there ain't nothing anybody can do about that. And I can't disagree with you. Of course, the primary consideration is the pragmatic one, right? It's not the only one, but if you can't survive, if you can't feed yourself to stay alive, nothing else matters. I get it. But nothing will thrive without both parts. So you cannot reach the meaning conversation from a place of destitution. Material security comes first, has to. Then the harder human questions open up. The order is the whole point. And Alberta is about to push people below the floor and call it philosophy. They're going to call it philosophy. They're going to call it science. They're going to call it medicine. And it's none of those. They have no statistical evidence that this program works. The only statistical evidence they have is the one they're not listening to, the psychiatrists, and all the work has been done that has been done there. The UK model that failed holistically, crashed people's lives. That's the only thing that came out of it. They are not putting any of those into consideration, right? In this era.
Well, it's just like that line from our song that we're gonna have on the first. You know, you can't study poverty when poverty kills.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You can't study dead people, except their biology, I guess. But you can't study how they operate in the world. They're dead. So the material consideration is the biggest, and the government knows that. They know that. If I know it, a dumb drummer, the fucking government knows it. All right? And they know this, and they know the outcome. They already know the outcome. Because nobody is that stupid. Nobody. Nobody. So let me go back to the chat just to see. Well, we got 4 people on here. Pam was getting tired, I guess. Tamoxifen making me tired. Well, Pam, come on, you go and you be you. We love you so very much as well. And Ivy is back. And we're back. I'm back. LOL. Had to go get my grandkids. Of course. Yeah, no, you gotta do you. And we're glad you're back. And we have kind of, we're wrapping up at the moment. Before we do that, let me see if there's, I think this is a moment to stop, cleanse the palate, and give a moment and a nod to Chantal and a little bit to me, because I edited this great work that Chantal brought forward. Like I said, it's the #1 hit in Guam, Uzbekistan climbing the charts, and I think we're going to be touring Zimbabwe here pretty soon. So, in respect to that, I want to play you this song called "We Are Still Here" that Chantal has graciously put forward to us, and let's just do that and enjoy.
Are you coming to the steps where the quiet voices rise, where the parents bring the paperwork and the hungry children cry? Are you coming to the steps where the sick are told to wait, where they cut the hands that held us up, then call the damage fate? We are still here. We are still here. Our backs against the wall without fear. We are still here. We stand as one. We'll fight their lies until our work is done. Are you coming for the children who were promised care and time, where the forms replace the helping hands and support becomes a line? Are you coming for the families who have begged and called and tried, while the doors keep closing who bear the blame. Are you coming for the sick ones who can't lose another thread? Where the medicine, the rights, the care stand between the living and the dead. Are you coming for the renters with the notice on the door? Where the check was never enough to live and now they're taking more. We are still here. We are still here. Our backs against the wall without fear. We are still here. We stand as one. We'll fight their lies until our work is done.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. What do you think of them apples, huh? Quite a song, quite a song. Like I said, climbing the charts in Guam and Guantanamo. So, and we have another one coming for you to be debuted. Hopefully, it's a lot of work. But hopefully we have a brand new song for you called Something Us. What, Chantal? Come on, help me out.
Can you hear us?
Can you hear us? July 1st. Can you hear us? I am working on the video, and even if I don't have the video done, we're going to release a song. Damn it! But I am attempting to get the video done with moving and everything else. I've got to the first chorus now. I believe it might. No, I'm not even. I'm at the end.
Second.
Yeah, like
You sent me the second chorus.
right. No, it's the first chorus. Second
Oh,
verse.
okay.
Second verse. First.
That's
chorus.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
So I'm into the first verse or first chorus, and that only took me 4 days. So it's a lot of work. I mean, to edit this, to conceptualize it, and then to get things to behave is very difficult. And then to get all the sound right, and there's a ton of effects and everything else. It took 4 days just to get into the chorus, but I'm there. So hopefully that will be for release, the video at that time. Chantal, do you want to wrap up?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sitting here having fun painting my nails.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So where is it here? So just to wrap it up. So Alaska helped and the stereotype fails. The Alberta numbers, the limits stated out loud, right? And where is it here? The Heritage Fund proving cost was never the constraint, and the money and meaning philosophy with the guardrail that not enough never means doesn't matter.
Right.
So yeah, the Alaska story isn't money failed, it's money did real good, and then the things money can't buy got harder. Alberta is about to remove the money and keep gesturing at the things that can't buy, taking the one thing that demonstrably helped and dressing the loss up as wisdom about the human condition. We're not falling for it, and the evidence is on our side.
Right. And that is the question, ladies and gentlemen. Are we going to fall for it? And we can fall for it in many ways. We can fall for it by believing it. We can fall for it by not believing it and not doing anything about it. the question remains: are we going to fall for this? Because we are falling. If you haven't felt it yet, we are falling. We are falling not from any grand perch, uh, you know, um, but from a height that is certainly going to damage the wings of all of us should we fall. And I think that we need to be really honest with ourselves. I mean, we're here for you because we care about our fellow uh, species, and so we hope you join us. We really hope you join us July 1st, and whether that's live, on Facebook, and perhaps YouTube, uh, or if you're there. Being there is quite an amazing thing. Being there is quite electric, really. Um, uh, it is it, intrinsically being there has meaning. You all of a sudden realize why you're fighting at all, right? It all becomes clear in that moment when you see people around you going, fuck the government. You're like, oh, thank God, thank God,
I'm not alone.
I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Thank you, Jesus. And it gives you. Well, it certainly gave me purpose. It gave me, the ability to drive home from Edmonton that day and go, I'm good. I'm good to go now. I need to refill my tank. That's why I'm going up again.
Mhm,
Um, because I need that. I need my brothers and sisters around me.
mhm.
I need them. I need to hear a good word. Gavin, you're doing great. You're doing good. Keep it up. Love you. I need that. We all need it because we all need to belong. Some of us can wait. Some of us can, uh, what do they call it? That transition from child to adulthood is delayed gratification. So we can delay our gratification. I think Chantal and I have gotten pretty good at that. We don't need praise, but
Mhm.
every once in a while, not because of what we do, but just because of who we are, just because we exist, means that we need people to accept us and we need people to love us because it's human. And we try to extend that to y'all on at least 4 days a week.
Mhm.
And it is sincere when we say we love you. Uh, whether you believe us or not, it's very true. Um, IBS, is there parking for handicap close to where you guys are?
Yes.
Where? Because we couldn't find shit when we went there. Where is it, Chantal?
So if you come up from the south side of the legislature, there's a specific street there, and there is parking on the right-hand side.
Okay. Okay. But there's not a lot of parking, is there?
Uh, they're supposed to be, but I don't know where the other lots are. I just know about the one.
Yeah.
And then there's parking along that whole street there. That's where I had the Uber drop William and I off for
Right.
the protest on the 22nd.
Right. And I think we ended up parking. Well, no, we actually parked a couple streets over across whatever kind of bridge there was there, kind of thing,
Hmm.
downhill. It took us a while, but if you have a handicap, placard, I'm sure it'll be easier to find that
Yeah.
space. And they should have underground parking, really. They should. I mean, they probably.
I think the underground parking and stuff is for the people that actually are in legislature
Mm,
because they
mm.
don't want their vehicles keyed, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. And I'd feel
Got to
so bad.
protect the stuff.
Yeah, I'd feel so
Oh
bad if
yes.
that happened to any one of them.
Oh yes.
I'd feel terrible. I'd lose I'd lose no, I'd gain 5 minutes sleep. I'd actually gain 5 minutes. I do have a placard. Uh, Ivy has a placard.
I don't know what the road closures are going to look like for Canada Day because they haven't posted that as of yet.
Yeah.
But there are going to be some downtown routes that are going to be closed because of all of the activities that are planned. So as soon as I know what the road closures are, I'll be posting them to the group.
Yeah. Um, so I think that's about it for today. We'll come hard and fast at you again tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. There are two things happening tomorrow. Well, there's a lot happening for me. I am moving tomorrow, quite early actually, so that's not a problem. But I haven't packed one goddamn thing in this place because I have no boxes. The other thing is I don't have a monitor, so I may have to make use of Buddy's here if he'll even go for it. I'm doing that. I'm trying to get it together for 6 p.m. tomorrow for the podcast. Um, there is, I think it's at 7, is that right?
Yep.
At 7 p.m., there is going to be a live feed with Zachary Weeks.
Mary, Zachary, and
Right.
whoever their uh, attorney or whatever it is, the lawyer is.
Right. Now, we don't have a link to that. It's on Facebook, but if you go to Zachary's or whoever, you'll probably find it on his page. Um, and we want to attend that. So we'll probably have a short podcast tomorrow if I even get it running. So to anybody watching this right now, if you don't see us tomorrow night at 6, there is a really good reason for that. Okay. Um, it is not tardiness, I can tell you that. Um, Regardless, there is that meeting online. Go to Zachary Weeks' page or whatever, and it's basically the NDP trying to justify its existence. Okay, so it should be an interesting conversation. I know Chantel's going to be there, and hopefully I'll be able to watch it on something somehow. So
I'll be recording it for you anyway, because we're going to be going over all of their information to clarify whether it's factual or not.
yeah, right. Um, so stand by for tomorrow at 6, ladies and gentlemen. If you do see, if you do see it disseminated on Facebook, obviously I'm up and running. So, and we're good to go. Outside of that, be kind to yourself. Be good to yourself, and find somebody if you can brighten somebody's day. Like we attempt to here. Go ahead and do that. People are hurting right now. And there's enough love to go around. But until tomorrow or Thursday, be well, be safe, and most importantly, courage!